Bradford City continue their 2025-26 EFL Trophy campaign with an away clash against McCANN'S Doncaster Rovers, and in today's video you're going to find out how both teams have gotten so far this season, what my starting 11 would be for this game if I was Graham Alexander. My team Bradford City then at week 1 sits second in the League 1 table. After 15 matches we've got 7 wins, 6 draws and 2 defeats, scoring 24 goals, which is still the most in the entire division, but we have also conceded 18, which is still the most in the entire top 6. That leaves us on a positive 6 goal difference and 27 points. Our last couple of matches then have been a loss, a draw, a draw, a draw and a draw, so not a great run of form for us at this moment in time. Recently we had a 2-1 defeat at home to Burton Albion, a really poor performance in this game, and I feel like it's a result that's been coming for us over the last couple of weeks. When you go on a run of drawing matches you have to end it with a win, and when you end it with a home defeat, first one in 8 months, just this third home defeat since the beginning of last season, very disappointing result. Obviously former Bradford City man Gary Bowyer was the manager of Burton for this game. They got a couple of goals towards the end of that first half and we gave ourselves too much to do. First half we were dreadful, one of the worst performances I've seen in a long time at Valley Parade in that first half. That was absolutely atrocious, probably the worst first half performance of Valley Parade we've seen under Graham Alexander. Second half we get the goal back through Bobby Poynton, but we were nowhere near the standards that we have set. We also had a 1-0 defeat away at Cheltenham, obviously very dubious goal that the hosts did score. Even now, a week or two on from that, about 10 days or so on from this game, I still don't understand how that goal is allowed to stand. They've taken the free kick before the whistle has been blown and pretty much every player on that pitch did stop. So really disappointing obviously to be dumped out of the FA Cup for that one. We also had a 0-0 draw at home to Lincoln City. Again, really poor first half performance. Lincoln was certainly the better of the two sides. Second half we stepped it up a little bit, got kind of more into gear in that game, but unfortunately for us we weren't able to find a breakthrough. Both teams had some decent half chances, but again nothing really too clear cut. We also had a 1-1 draw away at Stevenage. Again, really poor first half performance, but second half was certainly much better. 2 very well taken goals to be fair from either side. Second half we had a lot of momentum and pressure without really creating all too much, but again the first team to go away to Stevenage at that point and pick up any points from the Lamex this season, only the second team to score there as well, and given we had 8 injuries, 7 of them being starters at the time, it was seen as a positive result. And we also had a 2-2 draw at home to Barnsley. Pegged back twice, they scored a 70-yard wonder goal in that one, and really disappointing again not to come away from that match with all 3 points. So we are on a bit of a wobble at this moment in time. We haven't actually won in the league of Bradford City since the end of September. Doncaster though, we'll get onto them in a moment, their unbeaten run winless run in the league has actually gone on for even longer, so we need to build some momentum, get a win in this one. We've got Saturday off obviously because of the international break, and then we go away to Bolton next Saturday. That is where Bradford City have got to be aiming to get back to winning ways. It's as simple as that. Compared though to Doncaster Rovers, they're now sitting down in 18th in the League 1 table. After 15 matches they've got 5 wins, 3 draws and 7 defeats, scoring 14 goals, which is amongst one of the lower tallies in the division. I don't know if it's the 3rd lowest in the entire league, and they have also conceded at 21. That leaves them on a -7 goal difference and 18 points. Their last couple matches then have been a loss, a draw, a loss, a loss and a draw, so they're in even worse form than we are at this moment in time. Recently they had a 2-1 defeat at home to Barnsley. 2 very well taken goals by the visitors. Billy Sharp actually did quite well for the first goal and only goal that Doncaster did score in that one, but this has just been the most recent of a very bad run of results for Doncaster, and they actually haven't won in the league since beating Bradford City back at the beginning of September. They also had a 2-1 win away at Crewe Alexandra. Owen Bailey scoring the 93rd minute winner in that one. I'm pretty sure he's their top goal scorer in all competitions so far this campaign. We're scoring for fun in the league at the start of the season. Now his goals have dried up, and obviously so has Doncaster's form, but obviously it's nice to progress through into the next round. They also had a 1-1 draw away at Reading. I think this was Noel Hunt's final game as Reading boss. The away side took the lead through Billy Sharp, but they were only pegged back at 7 minutes after that one. But to be fair, going away to Reading and picking up a point is not the end of the world. They also had a 2-1 defeat at home to Northampton. Despite taking the lead in this game, they were pegged back through Ethan Wheatley, and then Sam Hoskins scored late on in the second half to pick up all 3 points for the visitors. And then just before that one, they had a 4-0 defeat away at Leyton Orient. I watched this game and they were absolutely garbage from start to finish. They were atrocious defensively. literally all over the place, creating very little, but goodness me, they were very bad in that game. And then I've said a couple of times, I think their last league win was actually away at Bradford City, but I just, at home to Bradford City, but I just want to actually double check that that was actually their last win. So this is their 3-1 win at home to Bradford City on the 6th of September, but looking after that, they obviously beat Grimsby in the Football League Trophy, which doesn't count. And then we're talking about the games that we've just been through, which is obviously the win in the FA Cup. So they've actually won twice since then in all competitions, and they've not won a single time in the league. There is nothing to say that we can't go away to Doncaster, get the win, and finish top of this group. Before we do go any further though with today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 100 likes on today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below your score prediction for this match, and also what would your starting 11 be as well. Obviously you need 4 qualifying players for this game, so that's either in total players who started in the previous league match or will start in the next league match, so keep that in mind as well. In terms of my team then for this game, I would stick with the 3-4-2-1 formation. I think the last couple of times that we've played against Doncaster and we've played this system, they've had our number, they've changed to adapt to that, but I feel like with the team that I've picked, they'll probably make some rotations as well, but I would assume the likes of Gibson and Sharp are probably going to play, because it's every time that they play against Bradford City, they always win, and Grant McCann's going to want to win, get his team back to winning ways. So for me personally, I would stick with that formation, and we saw against Burton that if we have any problems, we can also just switch to a 4-3-3. In goal, I would go with Joe Hilton. He's obviously been our EFL Trophy goalkeeper so far this campaign, and I think, again, we've not really seen him be tested all too much in both of the games, given how Grimsby got a red card quite early on, and then obviously you're playing against an under-21 side. He's not really had much to do, so I feel like this will be a real test for Joe Hilton, and given that Sam Walker has made a few brilliant saves so far this season, but also been at fault for a couple of the goals as well, I would like to see Joe Hilton really start pushing Sam Walker and be knocking on the door. In terms of my back three then, at right centre back, I would go with Neil Byrne. I don't think it was Matt Pennington's best performance in a Bradford City shirt on Saturday. I don't think he was awful, but certainly wasn't good whatsoever, and again in this competition you do like to rotate and give other players opportunities, so let's see what Neil Byrne can do. In the middle of my back three, I would go with Aidan Baldwin. All being well, I was under the impression that Aidan Baldwin should be back for this game and he might be able to get 60-70 minutes under his belt, because I think we've massively missed him since Cardiff away. I think we've only won one game since Aidan Baldwin has been injured, so him coming back into the side will be very important for Bradford City, not only in possession, out of possession as well. He's a very important player for Bradford City. And completing my back three, at left centre back, I would go with Tom McIntyre. I was bewildered to understand that he was outside of the matchday squad on Saturday. I think he's better than Kieran Kelly and should be starting for Bradford City in the league, but if Kelly's going to be playing in the league, then McIntyre at least has to be playing in at the EFL Trophy. Again, very good in possession, and I think that back three, you could argue, was stronger than the back three that we started in the league on Saturday. I think our best back three going forward until Tilt comes back will be Pennington, Baldwin and McIntyre, in my opinion. In terms of my midfield four then, at right wing back, I would go with Brad Halliday. Again, this is the perfect opportunity and competition to be rotating and giving players like Halliday some more first team minutes as well. I don't think Josh Nerfville was awful against Burton, but I don't think, again, it was his best game whatsoever. At least he did beat his man a couple of times and getting some decent crosses into the box, but unfortunately just not quite landing on any Bradford City players' heads. I remember in the league fixture, it was Josh Nerfville was absolutely terrible in that game, and hopefully Brad Halliday uses experience, and who knows, if he plays really well in this game, Bolton away, he might have earned himself a start. As my two central midfielders, firstly I would go with my captain for this game, and that would be Alex Patterson. We obviously saw Max Power and Tommy Lee play quite a lot of football recently, I would say, especially in the most recent match against Burton, but Patterson, I'd like to see him get another start in this game. I know his season has been very stop-start through various different very small injuries and concussions, all that sort of stuff, so it has been a really frustrating period for him, but I think away at Bolton he's going to be very important for Bradford City. And partnering him, I would go with Jensen Metcalf. Again, I was bewildered to see both of those on the bench on Saturday. I think Tommy Lee had a really good start to the season, but over the last month or so I think his performance levels have dipped, and I just feel like it was a game that massively missed some real energy in that midfield. I don't think the second goal happens if you've got a Patterson or a Metcalf in at that midfield. We needed some more legs in there. Power and Lee as a partnership I don't think works unless you're playing against like a Wimbledon, for example, where it is a proper clog and slog. And completing my midfield four at left wing back, I would go with Lewis Richards. It like Ibu Toure came off on Saturday with a little bit of a knock, but either way I would give Lewis Richards another opportunity, because I think it's just good to have options in there, and we know what Lewis Richards is capable of. We saw last season the partnership that he built with Bobby Poynton was excellent down at that left hand side, and to be honest I would like to see Richards get some more minutes in the league for me, because I think Nerfil is very good going forward down the right hand side, but Toure, I am starting to see a few of those limitations going forward. Defensively very solid, but we know Lewis Richards can also offer things going forward as well, and he's just a different profile of wing back, so I'd like to see him get a start in this one. Finally then, as my front three, firstly as the right attacking midfielder I would go with George Lapsley. Again for me it was baffling, same as Tom McIntyre, to see him outside of the matchday squad when Anthony Sarcevic is injured. He obviously won't make this game, but he should be back for Bolton. How Lapsley's not even in the matchday squad, not even on the bench, and when you're playing a striker in Callum Kavanagh out of position, who, don't get me wrong, Kavanagh always works really hard, but I'm really struggling to see if he's making that step up into League One. He obviously missed the first couple of months of the season, and then as soon as he was available for selection, he came straight back into the starting 11 and seems to be a mainstay in the side, and I just personally don't see it whatsoever. George Lapsley, good for a goal, scored in the last match in this competition as well, so I would like to see him get another opportunity. As my left attacking midfielder, I would go with Bobby Poynton. Again, you need qualifying players, and Poynton for me has a lot of quality, and with him obviously recently missing a fair decent amount of football, about a month or so with that injury, you could see on Saturday that despite being one of our better performers, still you could see he was a little bit rusty in certain things that he was doing. Obviously got another goal as well, which was very important for him, but I think he's got that quality that you are going to need in a game like this, and obviously he is a qualifying player. And as my striker, I would go with Andy Cook. I've been saying it for feels like forever. Andy Cook has to be starting matches for Bradford City. He's far too good to be leaving on the bench. Every time he's coming on off the bench, he's affecting games in a positive way for Bradford City. He got a full 90 minutes under his belt against Cheltenham. This is a perfect opportunity to give him 65-70 minutes in a game like this, and obviously you have got options to rotate between, but I think Andy Cook, I really don't understand why he's not starting games either, because he's a much better striker than Stephen Humphries. Will Swan was obviously ill on Saturday. Callum Kavanagh, we've not actually seen play as a striker yet. If you're going to play Humphries, he has to play out wide. He was much better in the second half when he was playing as a right winger in the 4-3-3, so I don't understand why we don't play him there. And we've got our best striker, Andy Cook, sat on the bench for the entire first half. He comes on in the second half, and again, performance levels almost increase massively. It's ridiculous that he's not starting. On the bench then for me, that would leave Sam Walker, Josh Nerfil, Joe Wright, Max Power, Tyreek Wright, Stephen Humphries, and also Will Swan. The players currently unavailable are Curtis Till, Anthony Sarcevic, and Nick Powell. So the players who miss out then through selection will be Matt Pennington, Kieran Kelly, Ibu Toure, Tommy Lee, and Callum Kavanagh. So I've tried to go with a fair bit of rotation, given that we've already qualified into the next round, but you would also like to win, finish top of your group, and then obviously you get the home tie in the next round, which would be great for us, because I don't really want to be travelling to Walsall on a Tuesday night, to be honest. I don't think anybody ever wants to go to Walsall, never mind on a Tuesday night in the EFL Trophy. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there then for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me, and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 100 likes, as I mentioned at the start of today's video, and don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below your score prediction and starting 11 for this match. Thank you all so much for watching, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon for another one. I've not done that in like 2 years. Why have I just done that? What am I doing? I'll see you all later.